Silver is pretty close. Silver is up more than 7%. It's up $5.23 right now. It's trading at about $77.10. This is not the last big move, but right now, I think platinum's actually the star of the day. It's up almost 8%. It's an all-time record high for platinum. It's trading now above 2,400. Earlier this year, when silver was at $30, you could have bought silver in Q2 at $30 when gold was over 3,000. And I was telling my listeners, you got to buy it. This is ridiculous how cheap silver is. And now it's almost $80. $80 in under a year from 30.
Let's just say things go horribly wrong for gold and it starts to have a bigger correction. There is one area that I would be, and I myself will buy more physical. I'll buy it as a longer term play. If we ever retrace to the former all-time high from April, look at that base point right here. Look at all these high pivots, and that would be the worst case back to 3,500, which in all fairness, I think you have the former all-time high here from 2011. I think we're going to have a correction back down in the first quarter of 2026, back to $50. I will be waiting there and buying like crazy, but I do think we will get a flush back down. And again, if we talk percentages, what kind of drop from here would that be? We'd be looking at about a 30% pullback in silver. Again, considering it's up 150% from the lows in April, that wouldn't be super outlandish in terms of a retrace.
Silver and platinum are stealing headlines as precious metals surge. Silver has rallied more than 7%, trading near $77 after rising over $50 from last year's $30 levels, a 150% move from April lows. Platinum is the real standout, jumping nearly 8% to a new all-time high above $2,400, reflecting tightening supply and renewed industrial demand. While momentum remains strong, a healthy correction is possible. A 30% silver pullback toward the former $50 high would still fit a bullish long-term trend. Strategic buyers are watching retracements to accumulate physical metals for the next cycle in global commodity markets today worldwide. Now, we present the clips from their interview. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates. Thank you and enjoy the video.
Let's just say things go horribly wrong for gold and it starts to have a bigger correction. There is one area that I would be, and I myself will buy more physical. I'll buy it as a longer term play. If we ever retrace to the former all-time high from April, look at that base point right here. Look at all these high pivots, and that would be the worst case back to 3,500, which in all fairness, I think you have the former all-time high here from 2011. I think we're going to have a correction back down in the first quarter of 2026, back to $50. I will be waiting there and buying like crazy, but I do think we will get a flush back down. And again, if we talk percentages, what kind of drop from here would that be? We'd be looking at about a 30% pullback in silver. Again, considering it's up 150% from the lows in April, that wouldn't be super outlandish in terms of a retrace. Again, losing confidence in the financial system, de-dollarization. I think you're even looking at scenarios where if we go to my charts here and I bring up the Dixie, the DXY, there's some really troubling things going on here. So if we look at the DXY, the dollar, which again, this is against a basket of other currencies, right? The dollar versus a basket of currencies. Look at this chart. This is the '08 low. So in '08, the financial crisis height, the dollar began to gain strength. Well, look at where we are, right on this trend line. If this trend line breaks, the dollar starts going into a much faster descent to the downside. And we know that that would generally be very, very bullish for gold. So watch this level on the Dixie, on the DXY. We're talking about around 96.50 to 97. If we start breaking below that, that's very big trouble. And I would think a momentum increase in the dollar dropping would occur there. What a move in gold. I mean, incredible. I think it's over from the April lows. So 8 months ago, over 150% gain on silver, blowing everything else out of the water. The only thing I'm watching here is just in the last day or so, we've now hit this level. And look at this trend line. This trend line, you guys know I'm big on these longer term trend lines. And listen, it doesn't mean price has to stop here, but I think we can all agree that in reality, logic would dictate some sort of retrace here. But if there's the bear market low of 1982 here, if we take that low and connect it to the bull market high of 2011, we literally just tagged that trend line here at $72 to $73. Now, again, it could continue, But as a technician, I need to monitor this line over the next week or two to see if it turns out to have teeth. Does it cause some sort of corrective move? And the only other thing I would say is I do believe we've seen a lot of momentum from Bitcoin going into silver. Even investors, it's almost like become the meme stock is being in silver now. And we know that when these things have corrections, they can be sudden and quick. As much as I love silver long term, don't be surprised if you have a very quick 1 or 2 week correction of 20% in silver and then look to buy that retrace. And I think what we have to understand is silver is a very momentum driven asset, right? When things are bad, things are bad. And when we see like the 2011 run, it was just epic to the upside. And one more thing I'll show you on this chart. And this is you're right about all these other factors, right? They're very bullish, although those narratives can switch very quickly. But if we look at the move here that we saw in 2011, it was about 500%. And we are now at that same approximate extension move from the April, or I should say from the March 2020 lows. We're at about 515%. And so what we know about silver is that, again, they call it the poor man's gold. People rush into it for the momentum trade. And while I love every point you made on a macro longer term scale, and it has me bullish for silver over the next 5 years, in the near term, I do think that we are now overdone on silver, and silver needs a flush out of the weak hands that have been jumping on this like a meme stock. You and I both know that the meme stock crowd that's just buying it because they think they can dump it for another 50% upside, those are the ones that have to be washed out, clean house, and then silver can get back to fundamentals of grinding higher at a slower pace that will be much, much healthier. But it's not healthy to see silver go this much vertical, and that'll catch people off guard when it corrects massively. I think you have the former all-time high here from 2011. I think we're going to have a correction back down in the first quarter of 2026, back to $50. I will be waiting there and buying like crazy, but I do think we will get a flush back down. And again, if we talk percentages, what kind of drop from here would that be? We'd be looking at about a 30% pullback in silver. Again, considering it's up 150% from the lows in April, that wouldn't be super outlandish in terms of a retrace.
Gold and silver markets may be approaching a critical inflection point as technical signals suggest a potential correction. After massive gains, silver up over 150% in 8 months, momentum appears stretched. Analysts point to key trend lines, former all-time highs, and a weakening U.S. dollar, DXY near 96.97, as catalysts for volatility. A 20-30% silver pullback toward the $50 level in early 2026 could flush out speculative meme traders, creating healthier long-term buying opportunities amid ongoing de-dollarization and financial system concerns. Let's get back to the interview.
Earlier this year, when silver was at $30, you could have bought silver in Q2 at $30 when gold was over $3,000. And I was telling my listeners, you got to buy it. This is ridiculous how cheap silver is. And now it's almost $80. $80 in under a year from 30. And when it broke through 30, I was telling everybody, this is the floor. Don't worry about it. It's not going below 30. Just buy it. And then when it went to 40, I was saying the same thing. And then I said, when it gets through 50, it's gonna be a rocket ship. And it's already more than 50% above 50. And it just broke above 50 like a month ago. Copper. Not that I've been buying physical copper for people, although I own quite a few copper stocks myself. Copper's at a new record high today at $5.85 a pound. So it's not just the precious metals that are rocketing, it's industrial metals. I was watching, I got up early this morning, because, it's hard to sleep through the nights now with so much action going on, right? Gold and silver are the best performing investments of the year. Gold's up like 70%. Gold now, by the way, I didn't even mention gold. Gold's above 4,500. Today it's at 4,530 now, almost up about $50. I mean, obviously it's being outshined by silver right now, but gold is making record highs. And in fact, I think the reason that gold isn't even going up more is because I think there are people who are short silver and long gold who are still unwinding those spreads. And so that's putting some selling pressure on gold. But I think gold's getting ready for another big run. I think we're going to hit 5,000 probably in Q1 of 2026. Silver could easily hit 100 by then. I mean, although it could have a pullback. I mean, it's moved up so far so fast that kind of anything can happen. But I tend to think that the momentum is there for a reason. But getting back to what I was saying about this Steve Leisman, that all these guests that they've had on all year long, not a one of them that he can recall has been pounding the table on gold and silver. Silver's up like, I don't know, 150%. I haven't done the math, but I mean, it's almost tripled on the year. I mean, it's done better than any of the AI stocks. It's certainly done a hell of a lot better than Bitcoin. I mean, I remember, and I've reposted this tweet or post rather, sorry, Elon, several times over the course of this year. But when silver had a big move to about 31 or 32 in one day, it was up like 5%. I posted, it was like February or March of this year. And I posted, I said, check out silver. Silver is the new Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin 2.0, right? So if you want something that's going to move faster than gold, buy silver. Forget about Bitcoin, right? Buy silver. It was probably selling Bitcoin and buying silver. And that was a trade that, a lot of people could have done. I was urging people to do that exact trade. And in fact, Bitcoin is down 7% on the year. And ironically, just about every person who came on CNBC this year, and certainly at the end of last year, the beginning of this year, which is the time period that Steve Leisman was referencing, everybody, to a man and woman, was pounding the table on Bitcoin. It was a can't lose trade, right? You have to buy Bitcoin because we have a Bitcoin president. We have a Bitcoin cabinet. We got a Bitcoin strategic reserve, right? You can't lose on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a one-way ticket to the moon.
Silver's explosive rally has reshaped the metals market, surging from $30 to nearly $80 in under a year and outperforming gold, Bitcoin, and even AI stocks. Early buyers saw silver break key resistance levels at 30, 40, and 50, triggering a powerful momentum move. Gold has also reached record highs above $4,500, while copper hit new highs, signaling broad strength in metals. Despite short-term volatility risks, analysts see silver potentially reaching $100 and gold $5,000 by early 2026, driven by momentum, inflation hedging, and shifting investor sentiment. Share your thoughts on his analysis in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, please support and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the following video. Thanks for watching.